Everyone continues to ask about Maxx Crosby. The rumor that simply will not go away and people are talking about almost every day is the Bears trading for a pass rusher like Maxx Crosby. And it's not just Crosby, it's also Miles Garrett and Micah Parsons. It doesn't matter which one of these superstar pass rushers you insert into the rumors, but they persist. Today I want to talk about that and address why I do not believe it is happening. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First, let's be clear. Maxx Crosby is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, and he did recently come out and make some comments via the press that seemed to hint he could be ready for a change of scenery and that he wants to win. But he also said he wants to stay there and said he isn't going anywhere. The biggest issue with this is that it's not the Bears that would be the most interested if he was available. It would probably be the Detroit Lions after losing star pass rusher Aiden Hutchinson for the season. On top of that, Maxx Crosby went to college at Eastern Michigan and even has a field named after him, Maxx Crosby Field. I still do not believe the Raiders trade Crosby. The biggest reason is that unlike Devontae Adams, he actually wants to be there. He's not holding out, and he's not a locker room distraction. He's the Raiders' franchise player right now. He's 27 years old, and he has a cap hit north of $30 million this season. I know every media outlet wants to talk about Crosby to the Bears, but when you look at the situation with context, the Lions are actually in a much better position to trade for Crosby if he did somehow become available. The Bears are just not in position to take on a $30 million contract in the middle of the season. We currently only have roughly $6 million in cap space this season. Now, let's be clear. The Bears are actually in a better position overall with the salary cap than the Lions are. But for this season alone, they just paid some guys with some big-time upfront contracts. Montez Sweat, Jalen Johnson, DJ Moore, and DeAndre Swift, as well as Tremaine Edmonds, have some front-loaded contracts in order to retain that flexibility going forward long-term. However, that means this team is not really able to add a $30 million salary to the roster right now without making some significant changes. Now, Ryan Poles does have the flexibility where he could clear some cap space, restructure some guys, but we cannot save any money from Nate Davis this year, and our biggest cap hits are Montez Sweat, JJ, and DJ Moore. Those are the three most recent extensions that Poles has gotten done. So I don't know if he really wants to go back and rework those deals already to make room for a Maxx Crosby. Now, don't take this wrong. The Bears have a ton of flexibility going forward, but most of the flexibility for 2024 was used already. Maxx Crosby does not seem like a realistic option. First, I don't believe the Raiders trade him, but even if they do, we aren't really in position to take on his contract right now. And to make matters worse, the Lions have about $27 million in cap space and would probably be in a better position here. They have more flexibility for this season. When you look into the future, it's clear that Detroit has pushed some of its cap issues down the road. And honestly, if they don't get things under control in the next couple of years, the Lions could have some serious cap issues coming forward. Right now they have 27 million, and next year they're scheduled to have 70 million in cap space. When you compare that with the Bears, they're pretty even. The Bears have about 72 million in cap space in 2025, but when you get to 2026, that's where the biggest difference is. The Lions have already invested the majority of their 2026 cap space on just 3 to 5 players. In 2026, the Lions only have 25 million in cap space right now. 2 years from now, the Lions have less cap space than they do this season. Meanwhile, the Bears will have 134 million in 2026. That's a difference of 111 million. So the Bears have a ton of flexibility to get things done moving forward. But right now in week 7 of the NFL, heading into week 8, the Lions have more cap space available today to take on a large salary. However, the Bears are going to have a lot more flexibility over the course of the next 3 to 4 seasons. The biggest difference is Ryan Poles has written smart contracts that protect this team's future while the Lions seem to be pushing things down the road. And the day of Jared Goff's $69 million cap hit and Amon-Ra's $33 million, Penei Sewell's $28 million and more, those days are coming for Detroit. So I just wanted to clarify they're not in better position when it comes to cap space, but they are in a better spot to trade for Maxx Crosby today. But if the Raiders keep Crosby this year and then they go to trade him next year or in 2026, the Bears are going to be in a much better position to land him or any other superstar that becomes available. And the Bears still have a ton of flexibility to take on a contract this year or add a player and redo their contract and push it down the road a little bit. But for the record, I do not see Maxx Crosby getting traded. I do not see Micah Parsons or Myles Garrett getting traded either. It doesn't make sense for teams to trade their best players that are still in the prime of their careers. Maxx Crosby is only 27 years old. He is not the same as Davante Adams, who was holding out and was a locker room distraction, and is also over the age of 30. But I do think there are some other players out there that can still help the team that would be available at a much lower cost, and that is what I will be looking for. Let me know what you guys think about this. I do not think Maxx Crosby will be a Chicago Bear. I really don't like discussing the rumors like this, but this one has been persistent. Same with Myles Garrett. I wanted to put those to bed. Let me know how you guys feel. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned. I have a ton more content on the way. And until next time, bear down.